everyone, I'm Colleen with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Today we celebrate the feast of St. Francis Caracciolo, whose life took an unexpected turn when he answered a call to action that wasn't even directed at him. Francis was born in 1563 as Ascanio Caracciolo. He grew up in the Kingdom of Naples and was a gentle, honest child. In his early 20s, he fell victim to a debilitating skin disease, one that was commonly mistaken for leprosy in those days. His case was so severe that most thought his death was certain. He prayed to be delivered from his illness, promising that he would dedicate his life to God if he survived. His recovery following this prayer was so sudden and swift that many considered it to be a miracle. Filled with thankfulness for God's mercy, he immediately began his studies for the priesthood. 5 years after his ordination, he received a letter from John Adorno, who was interested in starting a new congregation that would combine and balance active service and contemplative life. The trouble was, the letter wasn't meant for Francis. It was supposed to have been delivered to a completely different person with the same given name. Francis was so impressed by what he read in the letter that even though he was never supposed to be involved, he got in contact with John Adorno and offered to help him. He worked together with John to draw up rules for his new congregation, known as the Minor Clerks Regular. In 1588, the society was formally approved by the Pope. The young congregation was troubled by a number of difficulties after its founding, however. When they traveled to Spain as bid by the Pope, they found that there was nowhere for them to live and were forced to leave. On their way back, they were shipwrecked, and when they managed to get back to Naples, they couldn't accommodate everyone who wanted to be part of their society. By a stroke of luck, they were asked to take over the Basilica of St. Mary Major, which enabled them to begin their activities in earnest. Many of them served as missionaries, but they also did charitable work in prisons and hospitals. When John Adorno died, Francis was chosen to take his place as the group's superior. It was part of the congregation's vow never to seek any higher office, and representing this rule, he asked not to be given the position. However, at the insistence of the rest of the order, he was made to take it. Even as superior, he remained humble and ensured that he did more than his fair share of menial tasks, such as sweeping and kitchen work. However, the daily rigors of his work began to affect his already poor health. He resigned from superior to prior, and then in 1607, sensing his impending death, he retired completely. A year later, while he was in meditation, he suddenly cried out, "Let us go!" When someone who was with him asked where they should go, he replied, "To heaven!" And moments later, he died. It's not always clear when God is inviting us to take a chance, to take a risk and be part of something we didn't plan. But we shouldn't be afraid of those promptings. What began as an accident for Francis ended up being a chance for him to become one of the founders of a congregation that he was meant for. St. Francis Caracciolo, pray for us.